Hello everybody, Yak with you once again, Starter Motivation coming to you live from Houston and Texas. This interview, out of all of them, it hits home closer because it's somebody that I've known for a lot of years. Somebody that I actually met in the process of getting his hustle in the way, and you will understand what I mean by that. The one, the only, DJ Zitro. Zitro, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us here. And once again, we go back, right?
Oh yeah, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for having me. Excited, and yes, we do go back to the humble beginnings.
Okay, so Zitro, first, how did you come up with the name Zitro, and why DJ?
Man, I'm gonna have to reveal the bad man's identity right now, but basically Zitro is my last name backwards, which is Ortiz. You flip it over, and it's Zitro.
Luis Ortiz. So it's Luis Ortiz. Just to be clear, I'm sorry, Batman.
That's Batman's identity now.
I kind of just pulled the mask on that one, but Luis Ortiz, and all he did was get your last name right, flip it around.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't get no more original than that, right? Copyright and trademark and all.
Yes.
50 states, right?
That is copyrighted.
So Luis, or DJ Zitro, how and why DJing?
It's something that I've always liked, even before it was a thing, before your Tiestos, before your EDM wave that came in, and it was like something that I've always liked. And I mean, it all started since the beginning when I was just playing CDs at my house party in 6th grade. You know what I mean? Like, so went from there. When I moved to the United States when I was 15, I had a little 1-channel mixer. 2 CD players. They were not even CDJs, they were CD players. And I would play off of that for just little house parties. Till one of my homies was like, hey, why don't you throw parties, you know, like DJ at like a club or just charge people for partying. So I was like, hey, you know, it's not a bad idea. So shout out to Steve-O. And he was a promoter at the time at the club. So I was like, you know what, let me go in and start the promoting stuff. Promoted a couple clubs here and there. Start getting some money, and one of my buddies was like, hey, this guy's selling his equipment. So it was a trash mixer, a $50 mixer, and 2 1200 MK2s Techniques turntables. So what I did is like, all right, let me go ahead and buy them from him. And you know, I started starving myself for like 2 weeks. So I was like, man, I'm saving money and trying to pay that, you know, and the rest is history, man. Like, as a matter of fact, I still have the turntables.
Oh, so kind of like a little souvenir, right?
Yeah.
So right now, you lost me right now. I think you were speaking in English. I don't know. I just heard 2 hooked up to this, and that.
Yeah.
But I know that in the DJ world, perfectly clear, everybody understands what he's talking about. But for a moment, I want to catch that precise thing you said.
Okay.
I was pretty much starting myself. You know, you were eager. That was your interest. You wanted that.
Yeah. It was something that I was determined that I was gonna do no matter what. And if it was to the point where I didn't have to eat because I was gonna pursue it, I put eating on pause and just survive off of crackers and water to save that money to buy that equipment, because I knew in the long run was gonna make money. You know, you gotta spend money to make money at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Nice. I like that. So you said when you came to the U.S., so were you born in the United States, or did you live somewhere
I was actually
else?
born in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico.
Shout out to Monterrey, Nuevo León.
Big shout out to Nuevo León and all my family out there.
Okay. So you already were bringing that from Monterrey when you got here, right? So you got it from over there. What in Mexico made you fall in love with the actual DJing?
Well, there was this club called Bat Crew, and it was a teen club. So one of my friends was throwing his party there on a Sunday. We're like, 13? So we went out there, and I automatically was just drawn by the DJ just playing, and everybody was having a good time, you know what I mean? I've never been a big dancer, so I was like, hey, I could be the guy that makes the people dance and have a good time, you know what I mean? And during the time, you know, it was like the love era, you know, you're young, so you're going through stuff, and then you go to the club and you get lost in the music, you know? So it was like something that, to me, it was like, man, I want to be the guy that makes sure that everybody that's having a bad day will come in and forget about it for at least the 4 hours that they're partying with me. So that's the biggest thing that, like, I was like, man, I was so drawn by that, you know, to where it's like, all right, start collecting CDs and, you know, cassettes of like different music, you know, and just started like, because I was never big into the norteño scene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like all the like the old EDM, which was underground at that time, was what was so attractive to me, you know.
So, but just to clear a little bit, norteño is regional music from that part of Mexico, specifically, that is listened to by tradition. Now, like Luis said, or Mr. Citro, it didn't click to him. He's not against it, but you know, to each their own. But now let's fast forward years after. So I quit and leave the culinary world and start working at this small mom and pop plant that I'm still grateful for, DXP Technologies in Highland, Texas.
Yes.
Big shout out, huge shout out. So I go, one of my first days, meet this guy, real cool cat, a lab technician. We started engaging in conversation, and where'd you come from? Oh, cooking, cool. I'm a DJ, you know, that's what I really love. I would like to do that for a living for the rest of my life. Now, we're here in 2020. Zitro is actually not working other than DJing. So that's how he makes his living. So this was 2012 when I met you. Mm-hmm. And you had been already years in the game, trying to hustle and, you know, from club to club and gigs and all that. So from 2012 to 2020, what is maybe the biggest change that you've had in your life besides solely depending and living of your love? Or your
well, first of all was the whole living the two lives, you know, like getting off of DJing, going home, showering, put other stuff, hop in the car, and then go back to work. And it was just tiring. So I was like, you know what? This is not for me. This 9 to 5 thing does not work for me. This is not what I like to do. I'm not happy. So I was like, all right, you know what? Time to just do it. I mean, it was not an easy task at all. You know, there was hard times to where like it was like $200 in your account and you only have like a month and there's no gigs.
Oh, wow.
So I have payments, I have cell phones. I mean, I had to make sacrifices to the point where like I'm not gonna pay my phone bill because I have to pay other stuff that's more important than my phone bill at this time. So then, you know, thank God everything started just falling into place. And basically networking, man, is the biggest thing, is the biggest key. You start going out and network with people. Like one of the guys from Dallas told me, it's not what you know, it's who you know, but what you know is what keeps you there. So ever since he told me that, man, I've lived by that. And it's like, shake everybody's hand, and then once they give you the opportunity, then you show them your skills, and the rest is history, man. Your skills will speak for itself, and you'll just get the gig right there and then.
So you talk about a lot of, you touch upon the sacrifice and that you had to prioritize and all that. To you, at any given point, did it feel like, should I really just do this? Should I just go back and you know, kind of maintain, and I wouldn't be struggling like this? Were there times like that?
Definitely. There's definitely times where I'm like, oh, I need to find a job. I need something, because I mean, DJ does not have a 401k. There's no health benefits behind it. So it's like, man, what if I get sick? And back then, I mean, if I really didn't find a gig, then big deal. I mean, I still have my job, or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Like I could afford to go on a vacation and not worry about anything else. But then it's one of those things. It's like either you go back to your life that you hate so much, or you just enjoy life. And life is short right now. Like big shout out to my boy Mark, man. He's going through some cancer stuff right now, and that made me realize, like, yo, like I need to live my life and enjoy what I do, man. So that's when I started just going full force, and I'm like, okay, I can't just stop now. You know what I mean? Like I have to keep going and going, and I mean, eventually things will work out. You know, as much as effort that you put into something, at the end there'll be a payoff. Because I mean, just be honest, no success story starts with it being rainbows and unicorns. There's always a struggle.
You're right. And I think sometimes we're all guilty of doing it. We forget that it's okay to feel like you want to quit. It's not okay to quit.
Yeah,
it's okay to cry.
Not at all.
It's okay to break down even sometimes. You know, the best thing I can advise is make sure you do it in an environment where you don't jeopardize your image, because a lot of times your stepping stones to get where you want initially will depend on your image. Now later on, if you you have a good foundation, you got a good following, and people get to really know who you are and the core values that you follow, that that can be pardoned or looked after. But it's okay. It's part of the process, and you say
It's human.
As you felt like, man, what do I just go back and comfy? But you make yourself that ultimate question. I'm gonna be like before, and I'm not gonna like it.
Exactly.
Or is me willing to struggle for I don't know how long till I get it, or I'll go back and you say, you know what, that looks comfortable, but it's just not me.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to it. Is like you want to always, or in my case, I always want to elevate. That's the point. Is never to be comfortable. Like you reach your goal, but you have to keep going because there's always more. You know what I mean? There's always more, and I've never been the person that like it's just okay. Well, I like it here. It's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like it's always more to it. I've always been curious about it, and I mean, so far it's paying off, man. It's been great. Like I have no complaints. I mean, yeah, there's struggles, but along the way you meet a lot of people too, and then my biggest thing is like I tell people like surround yourself with like-minded people, and it'll make your job a lot easier. Because then if you're like, oh man, I reached a ceiling here, how can I go around it and keep going up? And they might know the answer, or if not, between both of y'all can figure it out, and then find the answer to just continue elevating.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't think about it like that, but it doesn't make sense, right? It creates that atmosphere to thrive and just to go forward.
Oh yeah.
Instead of being, I guess, at a stop or going backwards.
Just continue. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has different goals. You might have the same mentality as all your peers, but they have different goals. But it's always good to motivate each other as a group. Like, hey, you got this, or man, I lost my gig here. It's like, oh, no problem, man. Like, just continue pushing. And this is what I did when I lost mine, so maybe that could help you out. Then you apply to what they just told you, and then just continue moving up.
So, Luis, I want to change it up a little bit. What are some of the things, maybe 3 or 4 things that you could tell that camera right there that people don't know about the DJ life? Maybe a little misconception or something that, you know what, I'm just going to tell you straight up. 1,000 people in the world are going to hate me, but this is how it goes down.
I would say one, it's a very expensive hobby. If this is a hobby that you're looking for, it's very, very expensive. So that's one of them. 2, I mean, it's just like everything else. It has its politics. There's politics involved. 3, I mean, it's just, there's no 401k plan. There's no health benefits. And then if you're doing it for just to get girls, man, you're better off starting your own company and getting a lot of money, because that will get you girls faster than DJing.
Now, we're not saying any of this to discourage you or anything, but it's straight, organic, to the point, right?
Oh yeah, man, it's definitely, there's a lot of people say, oh, I'm just gonna play here and get all the girls, get all the attention, and because I see Tiesto, rocking a crowd of 1,000 people or more, and it's like, it doesn't work like that. It does not work like that.
And those situations, yes, they're designed and set up for that, but in the restaurant and the nightclub industry and the entertainment world,
it's a dog-eat world, man. It's hard. Like, you got people undercutting you at all times. Like they'll do it for cheaper, then you lost your job, and then back to square one. But if you've been in this game a long time, you've been undercut once. You might have done a bad deal with the club owner to where there was no contract involved, and then they just bring somebody else. I mean, it happens.
So now talking about undercutting and bad things that can happen, of course, with any other discipline, industry, whatever you want to call it, it involves the good and the bad. Can you think back of a particular situation that was really, really messed up, and then you bounced back? You just got ingenious, got creative, and you're like, you know what? I'm not just gonna take these out.
Matter of fact, I was just talking to one of my friends about this. It was when I started working at Bombs at the 290 location. Bombshells, yeah. So when I started working there, again, it was back to the hard 2 months that I had. I couldn't pay my phone bill, so the manager at the time, we will not say any names, but the manager at the time supposedly tried to contact me to check my availability to book me. So after being hurting for 2 months, I only got 3 days booking because I never gave my availability, which I was available pretty much all month. So I was like, man, this sucks, you know? How am I gonna pay my bill? And I told him, I was like, dude, I don't have a phone, like, you can't reach me. So he was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm sorry, that's all I could do. So one of my homies, shout out to Eric O, he was like, hey, you know, I'm double booked, you want this? And I was like, yeah. So when I went back, I DJed like it was my last gig ever. And now I went from not being booked to pretty much bringing in DJs and choosing whatever days I want, if I really want to.
So you pretty much booked like how much time in advance? Month? 2 months?
I'm like for the March, I'm already booked up. I only have like 2 days off right now. That's for March.
And that's like jeopardizing 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Trying to fit them in there?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it went from no gigs to getting booked at 290 and then all the other stories that came with it.
What was your first thought whenever you sat there, you weren't behind on bills, you had money in the account, and you were booked for like a month or two in advance? What was the first thing you thought to yourself?
I was just like, man, I gotta keep going because you never know when this is gonna stop.
Good, keep killing it.
You have to, because I mean, just like I told one of my buddies who's going through hard times right now, you can't always be on top because everything that goes up must come down, but you can also always be on the bottom. Nothing is forever. Everything is temporarily. So you could be at the bottom. So what I mean when I told him is like, hey, whenever you're on top, make sure to treat everybody equal, because once you go down, everybody that you treat right, they'll catch you halfway. So you will never hit rock bottom again. You'll start from halfway instead of starting all the way from the bottom. Because in this industry, it's a lot of people that get cocky with it because they're having the money's there, the gigs are there. So everybody's your friend whenever you have festivals lined up, and then you have like important gigs and important nightclubs where there's a long line to get in, and they're like, oh, all of a sudden you're his friend now, you know what I mean? So
you're right.
So you have to make sure that who's there from the beginning and has always been there for you, and then treat them good all the way, you know what I mean? Never change.
That's good. You did touch on, I think, the creme de la creme. You get comfortable, then you surround yourself with some people that just showed up in the scene. You know what? I'm gonna be good here. I don't need that. I don't need not later or whatever. And the people that show up at last minute or when the success is there are the first ones to go like, step back, right?
They're like, oh, they don't answer phone calls. They don't remember who you are. Text messages don't go through. But then all of a sudden you start doing big things again, and they come around again. But then you just know how to handle it at that point, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, it's stuff you learn along the way. It's part of the struggle of the industry or whatever. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean music industry. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's on everything. Because I mean, we saw it as ZXP was the same thing too.
Yeah. So, 3 pieces of advice that you could give somebody, whether it be 18, 17, 55, 35, that want to get into DJing. What would be 3 core pieces of advice you would give them?
I would say go out, network, meet with the DJs, be respectful to them, first of all. To take time to learn the craft. That's very important. And then 3, man, just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. I mean, if that's what you love, then I mean, it's nonsense. There's days that like right now, I've been working a lot in studio production side now. So, I mean, I've got like 3 hours of sleep, and then I just come to work. And I mean, it's like nothing. Before then, we backtracked to where we used to work at the lab. Then it was like, oh my God, I gotta go to work. You know, like I don't feel like being there. And here I'm like, 3 hours, man, let's go. Let's rock it, you know. And the way I see it is like, a lot of people out there right now are having a bad day because they just got off of work. So I gotta make sure that those people have a good time. They go home and they're like, all right, man, you know, it's not that bad. I had a good time tonight. I had a couple of drinks, hanging out with friends and watch the games. If I'm at the bar, if I'm at the club, then dance the night away. Hopefully they met their significant other. You never know, you know.
True.
and I provide the soundtrack for that. So that's a good feeling.
Nice, nice. Have you ever had people come back and like, hey, you know, that night that when you were just rocking it in, and coincidentally I met this group of people, and then my wife was in the group, or my girlfriend now, or
Oh yeah, man, definitely. Like, it's more of a personal stuff, like friends that actually met their girlfriends, like where I was DJing and stuff. And it was funny because the girl came up to the booth to request a song, and my friend started talking to her right then and there.
Okay.
So it was like, hey, what's up? And then all of a sudden, now, fast forward now, they've been dating for quite a couple of years now.
Oh wow, it goes all the way backtrack like that, huh? Good.
Yeah, man, it's just it's a good feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm providing the soundtrack for everybody to have a good time. And
I feel obligated to do this, looking at this camera, looking at that camera, here, once again. The only reason why I'm gonna ask this question is because I know Zitro. I've been knowing him for years, like I said a million times. I have other friends that are DJs, and I've heard the horror stories. The 4 biggest pet peeves, big no-nos that people do on the daily to you all. You know what? I'm from Texas, to y'all.
do you have this song? Do not put that in the DJ's face. We don't want it about your phone. Like, we don't care about it. Man, that's one of the biggest ones, honestly, because it's like nobody wants a phone in your face. You know what I mean?
Course,
Like,
yeah.
that's one of them. Another one, if you don't know the song, it's okay. Like, but don't try to beatbox the song. It's a song that goes. Like, well, yeah, okay.
There's like a million of them, right?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm a Pandora. I mean, Shazam. I'll figure it out as soon as I hear the beat. But yeah, that and trying to start a conversation while I'm DJing, because I'm a passionate person. So I'm like always focused on what I want to do, and sometimes I don't want to be rude and be like, oh, okay, you know. But having a full blown conversation is like, no, it's a big no. No.
No phones in the face.
No phones in the face.
No beatboxing.
Yes.
And just shut up, please.
Yeah. Oh, and the all-time favorite. Can you do that? Wiki.
Zitro, there's people that maybe necessarily don't like the club scene. They don't like to go far into Midtown, downtown, or maybe they do. Whatever their mood is, where can they jam to DJ Zitro? Where can they find you?
First of all, they can even jam me from their cars, because every Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. on 90.9 FM, I have my show, Rumba Tropical.
Which we'll tag them below. Don't worry about it. I got you.
So they could jam to me from 6 to 4 on the way home from work, stress work. Don't worry, I got you with some fire. And they can find me there. They can find me at Bombshells locations, which is the Pearland location, Katy, 290, and Tomball, as well as the people that go out to bar hopping and clubbing, Bell Station, Casablanca, and pretty much all over Houston.
Wow, so whatever your mood is, if you want to just have a few drinks and food, or you want to turn up, as you know we say nowadays.
Oh yeah.
They can definitely find them at those establishments, and I'll be tagging every establishment below, and as long as they are paired with your Instagram on there, right?
Yeah.
So I'll have DJ Zitro down below, all the establishments, and anything that has been brought up or any place you need to go and see Zitro at will be down in the description below. Zitro, once again, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, my G.
Hey, thank you for having me, man.
It's been a delight seeing you grow, going from literally after a shift, after DJ, eat, shower, go back to work. Literally, I've seen it. I've seen him come in, I've seen him leave, and I couldn't be more proud of you. It's been a crazy, unrealistic experience at the same time, because I never really imagined that you would surpass even your own expectations like you have now.
Oh yeah, man.
You're steady, you're rolling, you're working some other things behind the burner, on the back of the stove.
We'll talk about that some other time.
But is there anything that you want to know, let know to this lens right here, and want to share with H-Town and the world?
Well, man, just follow me on DJ Zitro, and you'll see what's going on, because there's a lot more stuff coming up that I'm working on. So it's gonna be fun.
You heard it from the man himself, one of the most underestimated Latin DJs in the building. Shout out to my homie DJ Kiati. Shout out to my homie Shinadu Ogu, Jeff Shelley, and Elliot, all the people that have been part of this segment. Now you are part of that segment. Zitro, I always ask this at the end, and it's for due purpose. 3 or 4 individuals that you know will contribute a motivating story or a hustle to this Startup Motivation.
I'm gonna say DJ Anarchy, T Gray, DJ X, and Jacob Andrew.
Set in stone. You've been called out.
I call y'all out right now.
Step up to the plate. And well, Zitro, thank you once again. Appreciate it, man. Thanks
Thank
for
you, my
everything.
brother. Thank
Shout
you.
out to Nuevo León. Shout out to Monterrey, especially. Shout out to Saltillo.
Todo Mexico, todo Mexico.
Todo Mexico, where I grew up, but it's todo Mexico. Shout out also to all of our 50 states and PR, La Isla. Zitro, I can't even right now, as they say. it's a little unrealistic. We're sitting down here. He's about to go to work right now.
I'm about to go to work too, yeah.
Well, work, right? We call it quote unquote off.
We're about to go have some fun.
So he's about
Definitely.
to start his jams. You know where to find him. You know where to find me. Thank you for the support. Have a blessed one. Start Motivation.